Making a video. Yeah, walk and talk. Limp and talk, actually. And I smashed my freaking small toe into a box. Well, a toolbox. Anyway, mashed a bunch of skin off of it and whatnot, so I'll be limping for a little while. So I figure I'll make a video. And it's kind of, the weather's coming, so it's kind of breezy, so this might not work out well at all, because I don't have the wind camera. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. We'll do what we can do. Yeah, it's just this. Anyway, the last video was kind of funny to see the ratings on it. Almost more negative ratings than positive. For this idea that there really shouldn't be a bunch of different perspectives on reality. That this existence is not that complicated. And then there was this related thing. Flywire had one of those Google Plus rooms. They're very good, actually. The Misty guy was talking with the Jesus guy, zombie picture show. They were talking about determinism, and the Misty guy is a lot more polite there. Zombie picture show just contradicts himself all over the place. But anyway, it doesn't, it comes up with things like unrestrained volition, instead of free will. Unrestrained volition somehow makes more sense. No, I'm sorry, that doesn't make any sense either. And he was making some kind of idiotic statements that were like, well, if you believe in determinism, how can antinatalism work out? It's all determined. And obviously, these conversations would make it work out. Yeah, people would be persuaded by the snowball of ideas, and so that's what I was thinking about, was snowballs as a doing the going down the cliff thing, and that there's going to be a certain determinism in which snowballs get pushed down the hill of pop culture and pop memes. The existence of Elvis created a snowball. Different things create snowballs. And that's just how the game sort of plays out. Is something initiates something, and then there's this idea of an idea that just now all of a sudden starts rolling, that never had a chance to roll before, let's say. And it's in a really good track. So you can almost think about snowballs, and some of the ones that roll just roll because they got pushed, and others are just waiting. They just need a tiniest of nudges, and that ball will roll. So some ideas like, the right to die, I often wonder why that can never snowball. Sometimes somebody talks about it, something famous happens, and some people talk about it, and Kevorkian happens, different things happen, but it just doesn't snowball into realistically functional social policy. We do have a couple of states that have some form of legalized euthanasia, but it's not really accessible to most people in most circumstances, so it isn't very useful. It's only going to help 50 people a year. It's not practical, useful, right. Liberty. It's not a useful liberty in the form they have it in. So I'm just saying, it's just never really snowballed, and it seems like one of those memes that's just ripe for some acceleration. But then you have this alternative force where you have this perception that people are getting smarter. Too smart to buy into traditional religion, but they're just still clinging to it in some lazy way. Some good force angel way. Like a cartoon religion. So instead of, it's like they've given up on the real Batman series, and they're totally obsessed with the comic strips now. Or something silly like that. It's a reformation of religion, and a reformation of some sort of notion that life is precious, as some sort of negative mogul energy against the snowball getting going. As this religion mogul keeps popping up to destroy the momentum. And so anyway, but that, as part of this conversation about determinism is this idea of how you get something going, and how you get something like, again, the truth is not complicated. This reality is not. It isn't confusing. It really isn't. Yeah, when you get into microphysics and stuff, all right, it gets a little bit gnarly, but you don't take any of that stuff too seriously. Beyond the fact that the matter and the energy is very reliable. It does the same shit. You see, I mean, it's like the idea of these patterns created in here through the flow of the stream. It obeys these rules. The stream doesn't fly over here and go over there and do this and do that. It's all really confined. Rocks just stay where they are. They're not, Mexican jumping rocks. Even jumping beans, there was an explanation. A little worm inside, stretching and, breaking something in the internal structure, whatever the hell they're doing. They're doing something and it makes the bean jump. It's like the bean isn't jumping, the worm is jumping inside the bean, kind of thing. This is our really gross when you think about they sell that shit to kids. I remember buying some Mexican jumping beans when I was a kid. Yeah, and you're buying caterpillars inside of a seed. It's a little gross. Anyway, besides the point. I remember breaking them open and saying, "Ooh, caterpillar." Anyway, horsefly. So anyway, this determinism thing. Ooh, a nice rock. No spiders on it. Picked up one yesterday. I think it had a brown recluse on it. I was like, "Ah!" Yeah, I did that. Yeah. Said the hell with that. So anyway, where was I? Yeah, so determinism and memes and ideas and thoughts, and so I mean, quite obviously I've come to this conclusion about what I'm seeing, on planet Earth, and I'm describing to you what I see, and what I've, that's the irony, or the weirdness, or the ludicrousness of this, is I'm basically explaining to you what was kind of apparent at about 7 years old. And you're saying, why do I have to tell adults what was apparent when I was 7? I mean, should I really have to go all the way back to, grammar school? Yeesh. They got it wrong that early. I mean, really wrong. I mean, fundamentally wrong. Yeah. But maybe that's the religion thing again. The total course breaker. It just has its nasty, destructive influences in every element of, in our vocabulary, in so many traditions, in so many of our cultural institutions, and it's really hard to get for people, I guess, to liberate themselves of that crap. I mean, I do it myself. I say, Jesus Christ, or, oh my fucking God. I mean, obviously those are sort of anti-religion statements, but nonetheless, they are, byproduct of the influence of religion on existence on Earth as a human. You somehow have to account for the useless, impediment rock of the ages, the rock of ages. That's just a tripping stone, along the path to enlightenment. It'll just get in your way, break your foot, and cripple your brain. So, yeah, that'll probably get me some down thumbers. Ooh. So, yeah, so anyway, there's absolutely just about no comments on the video, which is also funny. I did block a couple of people. Just the useless that Emmet, whatever it is thing, and some other useless pile of shit. Because, yeah, I'm not going to personally tutor these people. So let them comment on other people's videos, and I'll read their comments and mock them appropriately. But anyway, but yeah, I'm not going to waste my time, on every video re-explaining what was already stated in the video. I mean, really, it's like they don't pay any attention at all. They just have their agenda. They're riding their own bullshit snowball, and it will not be paused to think. So yeah, back to this. I want to combine this determinism thing in here somehow. Yeah, so I mean, the momentum of ideas, the momentum of perspective, getting it to be contagious or viral is kind of the place I'm at. I mean, I'm sitting here saying these things, saying them to this camera, and that's obviously not going to make the snowball roll. It's got to have some fancier footwork. I gotta push this thing in some better way, to get it to start rolling, to do what it needs to do, to realize its potential, and change the unrestrained volition, of the masses. It's just, again, just totally restrained, totally in the box of nonsense and rubbish. I mean, again, if you extracted religion from history, I think we wouldn't be having all these conversations about multi-perspectivism, because there's just so little room for it in describing this mechanism, describing our own formation, our own development through evolution, the psychology of our brain. And, the real game isn't that our brain is a bad logic device. It's a very good logic device. What perverts it is the motivational device, the agenda engine, of our sensibilities and conditioning and desire. That corrupts the logic. That's like, it's like giving your computer, an insatiable appetite for, potato chips or something. And so instead of doing its computering job, it's always trying to figure out a way to come up with answers that make you bring it a bag of potato chips. So it's always going to change the math or change the programming to make it come out where it gets a bag of potato chips. So all of a sudden its logic is corrupted. There's no longer programs that have anything but it just ends up turning the outputs into garbage because they're being influenced by a garbage input of desire and ambition. The motivations are no longer to do calculations correctly. The motivation is to get its potato chips. And that's where humans fail as thinking devices, is their thinking ends up getting constructed around their feelings. And there's no, they're just not practical anymore, or realistic, or honest, or any of those things, because they want the answers to turn out favorable for their individual comfort. They want to personally win because they have lost sight of the logical reality that it's not a personal game they're playing. It feels personal, but the fact is it's not personal. It's a big game with lots of players, not a little game with one player. And their motivational device doesn't want to hear about that. You know, it just wants to hear about how it wins and fuck the losers. So anyway, that's enough of a video. I think it's adequate. See if this one can get 20 or 30 thumbs downies that are totally unaccountable, unreferenced. None of these naysayers have the balls to actually say something, make a response video or to make a response comment. They're all just despicable pussies. Anyway, yeah. So, till next time. Pool's looking mostly wonderful, which is good. It's a reflection on me, of course. Me personally. Yeah. So anyway, till next time. Done. Finished.